All right, okay. Okay, good. Actually, you know what? Can we just kill the projector? Because I don't need it. I haven't actually got, and I know this is going to disappoint everybody, I haven't actually got any slides. Now, come on, you can do better than that. I haven't got any slides. Okay, that's the energy levels we want. It is 4:30, it is the end of the conference. Nonetheless, I think I want to thank you for, I was going to say I want to thank you for making the time to be here, but who knows, you may have just been walking around, really tired, you just want to rest your feet. Is that what happened? You're walking past? Yeah, exactly. Oh, good. I'll rest my feet for 20 minutes. Hopefully, it'll be a worthwhile 20 minutes. Right, so I am wrapping up the conference for you. I'll explain who I am in just a second. I just want to make one thing quite clear. I have no slides. I'm old school. I've got one clipboard. I have 5 questions. I have 7 really important words. And I have a challenge. The words and the challenge will come at the end after we've got through the 5 questions together. Oh, is that too loud? All right, that's good. All right. So, you may know me, I'm Don Taylor, I'm the chairman of the conference. I was in the bizarre position just now of competing with myself. Round on the other theatre, they were playing Don Taylor from this morning. Really? Have you ever watched yourself on video? 8 hours after you've just, no, don't do it. And don't try to compete with yourself. It's a strangely schizophrenic thing to do. I've chaired this conference since 2000, the Learning Technologies Conference since 2000. I've been involved in learning and technology since the mid-80s. I started as a computer programmer in '83. I went on to then be a trainer in English and so on. So I've been doing this stuff for a long time. In this time, I've seen a lot of change, and we'll talk about that in a second. First off, I want to just establish, am I just an old git and everyone else is really new? Don't answer that. Let's have a show of hands. How many have been in the field for 1 to 5 years? Thank you for bringing your youth and experience and enthusiasm into the field. 6 to 15 years. All right, fine. That's pretty good, actually. Okay, 16 years plus. Yay! And a big hand for us because getting our hands into the air is an achievement in itself. Well done, everybody. Okay, good job. Okay, so we've done that. Over that time, I've seen a bunch of stuff happen. I really have. And I'm sure you have as well. And what I'd like to do, as we kick off, is ask you my first question. What has changed? What's the big thing that you've seen change, the one big thing that you've seen change in our field, in L&D, since, let's say, 2000? So, big period, 16 years. What have you seen that's really astonished you in those 16 years? Think about it for a second. Find somebody to talk to, have a conversation, then we're going to do some feedback. Go ahead. You have to turn around and talk to him. Okay, we haven't got long. We all want to get to the pub or get on the train, so let's get some feedback. Lots of conversation going on. What's the big things that have changed? Anybody, what's changed? Anybody? I can't hear. You've got to shout it really loudly. Technology, yes. Bit of detail. Laptops, mobile phones. Actually, everything. Technology, big change. Again? Cloud. Tell me what's changed with the cloud. What difference has that made to L&D?
I think it's just the way which information is readily available.
We have moved from an era where information and knowledge was power to where it is free and fluidly available. You can go anywhere, like being on holiday, and you've got to get hold of your email, for example, but suddenly it's very different. It used to be so good to have that bit of information. Now it's available everywhere. That makes a big difference. It's a huge difference. Yes?
When I first started, people wait to be sent.
You'd wait to be sent on a course.
Now, you're either asking for it or doing it yourself.
And that's a bit like the on-demand culture. It's not just that we can do it, we expect to be able to do it. Why do I have to wait for a course? Yes. So I want it now because after all, it's available everywhere. Collaboration. Can I ask you, are you still sad that I don't have any slides? No, you're okay. Okay. Collaboration. Collaboration, really crucial. Of course, we're naturally collaborative creatures, but suddenly this business of technology, the internet, we're all connected. Yes?
I was going to say, I think content, once upon a time, not so much. Now there's a surfeit. We've got more than we know what to do with.
Very, very polite. We have possibly a surfeit of we don't have a surfeit of content. We are drowning in content. If our job was once to create content, it is now to try to stem the tide and find what really works. And that's an entirely different way of looking at it. I've got two good things and one bad thing about what's happened in the last, let's say, 15 years. The first good thing is, goodness me, skills, knowledge are in the news. Back in 2000, no, you never find it in the paper. Now you open the paper, it's on the politics pages, it's in the business pages. EU debate, a lot of it is about, do we have the right skills in this country? The apprenticeship levy, that's all about a debate around skills and knowledge base in this country. Well, that's amazing. Another good thing, of course, is that you can find stuff you want anywhere. It's easier. It's faster. You can get it more widely available than ever before. Everyone's got their YouTube story. I've got my YouTube story from last Thursday. I play football every Thursday night, 5-a-side, just about a couple of miles from here. In goal. Yes, I'm down the pub afterwards. I've got my contact lenses, and who wears contact lenses? Have you ever had that thing where it's in your eye, but it's gone out? Is that nice and comfortable? It is agony. It's somewhere in your eye. You don't know where it is. It's like having a bit of grit moving around your eye. It's horrible. And of course I say, well, let's search it up on YouTube. I didn't. I was blubbing with tears. I said, search it up on YouTube. We searched it up, and sure enough, Tina Price, 09, I think she's based in Baltimore, and honestly, she's calm, this lady. She says, okay, guys, here I am. I've got something missing in my eye. I'm going to get it out now. I have to tell you, I was weeping like a baby, but she was totally calm. She taught me on YouTube how to do it, and if you need to know, if you're ever stuck, it's this. Just do that, keep doing that, and eventually the contact lens will come out. I sent a little thank you to her. Come to London, I owe you a beer, Tina, I said. That's my YouTube moment. That is on-demand learning. Everybody's got the YouTube. It happens. The bad thing about all this is that I didn't have to go to the L&D department to get hold of Tina. That's us out of the loop. Suddenly, that bit of learning is happening with L&D disintermediated. We knew the internet was going to disintermediate travel agents. We didn't expect to lose a job ourselves. Kate, it gets more interesting later on, believe me. So the internet, precisely as you said, because of the cloud and the availability of information and the ability to spread what we know, has changed fundamentally what we do. Now that's not necessarily negative, but it does mean that we have to challenge ourselves, and that's the challenge I'm going to come to at the end. First, though, I want to just get another discussion going quickly. What's the current state of L&D? Because if we're not involved in stuff being produced and being shared that's useful, what are we doing? We're not sitting on our thumbs, that's for sure. Everyone that I talk to describes L&D in particular ways, and I don't care where it is. Singapore, Sydney, Sidcup, it's all the same. People have all got the same issues. So what I'd like to do now is just turn around again very quickly. I want to have 2 or 3 words that describe where are we, what's your daily life like in L&D. If you want to say, I've all the money I want, I've all the time I want, I've all the resources I want, I'd love to hear it, okay? I suspect that may not be the case. 2 or 3 words, very quick, and let's shout them out. Let's go. All right. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so very quickly then, what's it like? What's the current state of L&D? Do you work in L&D regularly? No? Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to put pressure on if you don't want to say anything. It's all right, don't worry. Anybody want to say what it's like? What's it like? Are you busy? Yes. And? In demand. A lot of people pull in a lot of directions all at the same time. Okay, I'm just going to say this back. I want to see nodding heads or shaking heads. A lot of demand, a lot of being pulled in a lot of directions, some enthusiastic nodding going on, yeah? But equally, they've got a lot of blind spots of what I could be doing. They don't understand what we could do. Yes or no? Yep. Yes, okay, and? So they're asking for things that they don't need because that's what they expect us to do. Do you want us to come up and finish the presentation? They're asking for things they don't need because they don't understand what we can do. Furthermore, they think they know what we can and can't do, and they're going to shovel down to us only what they think they need, and they're wrong, usually. Curse them. And do we have lots of money? No. It doesn't matter, honestly, it doesn't matter who I speak to. Everyone says, I've got no money, I've got no people. I have fewer people this year than I had last year, but I'm being asked to do twice as much. Does that sound familiar? Everybody seems to be in the same boat. And you know what this boat is. I call it the training ghetto that we get shoved into, which is a place where we are forced to do this stuff. We're on this training content treadmill, typically being asked to produce courses very often. Even though course may not always be the right answer for it, we're usually being asked to do one of three things. One is to do onboarding training, which is important and necessary. One is compliance training, which is important and necessary. And one is fix my team training, which is when the manager phones up and says, my team can't do X, train them to do it, please. And usually the answer is no, you go on a management course and understand why you're such a bad manager. Okay, please do that, but don't then sue me for the loss of your job as a result. Okay, but I think it's time we pushed back a bit on these people who are asking us to do what they don't need, and they underestimate what we know about learning, absolutely. But I think we sort of play into their hands a bit as well, because we don't present ourselves to the rest of the organisation as sufficiently professional. I don't mean professional in the sense that we do our job, but I mean in the sense that we don't have a clear vision of everything that learning is. So they see us in the training ghetto as people that do training. It's what I call the schoolroom assumption. They think of training, they think of a schoolroom, they think that we're going to provide a course. And it shouldn't be that way. What should it be like? Okay, I'm bringing us down, you know, that's the really miserable bit. We're going to build ourselves back up again in a bit. I am going to bring us right down at the end. Everyone will leave miserably. Don't worry about that. But for a moment, let's rise ourselves up again. What should L&D be like? If it's not like this training ghetto, what should it be like? Ideally, what should the role of L&D be? And I tell you, it shouldn't be that we're on the phone answering requests for courses. It should be something else, but what should that be? Any suggestions? Go on. Part of the business, what does that mean? What does that look like?
There should be a stakeholder, a key stakeholder.
Stakeholder. And how are we going to do that? No, don't answer the how question yet. But we want to be part of the business and involved. Yes?
And it should be synonymous with good performance.
Synonymous with good performance. Want more performance, you go to L&D. I was going to ask you how, but I'm not going to ask you how. Okay. Business performance.
It should go hand in hand with HR.
Hand in hand with HR. Do we agree or not agree? No. Oh, it's panto time. They say yes here. On this side, they say no. Why HR? I mean, it's a split question. Why?
Because we're all humans and we're all resources.
We're all humans and we are all resources. But look at those faces. They don't agree. Okay, why does anybody disagree over there? If so, why? All right, so we've got a division here. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. We can talk about it in the pub. After this, we're going to go over to the Flower in Hand. We're going to have a further conversation over a pint of beer, because that's usually where most learning takes place, in my opinion. But I think it depends, to take this answer, on the view of HR, the view of L&D of each other, and of the organisation. I don't think it's necessary. I think either one is a necessary result. Okay, let's leave the HR thing to one side. Part of the business associated with performance. Is there anything else that L&D should be, ideally? And remember, my talk here, my wrap-up is the price and the prize. So what I'm trying to do here is establish what's the prize we're working towards. The prize for me is, yes, performance, yes, business, and? I'll say it again, influences the way the Okay, influences the way the organization itself, not just the people, grows and develops. I think that's a really interesting point. I'd love it if we could all do that. Yeah?
What about capabilities, so skills, competencies
Yeah.
bleeding into performance?
Yeah.
So companies go to market around capabilities. They can do this for their customers. We need to be in that conversation.
Companies make a promise. Organizations make a promise to their users, to their customers. We've got something. We can help you do something. That relies on the skills and capabilities of the people internally. And we have to be part of that. We have to be part of defining it, understanding it, and helping that develop. Was that hand being raised, or were we just mopping something from your brow? Mopping. It is hot. Feel for me. I'm up in front of everybody, walking up and down. You've got the chair. So we have an ideal situation. We have a prize. The prize is we are involved in the business. We are involved in performance. We are influencing not just individuals, but the organization as a whole. And we have some way of mapping the organization